What's going on, people? I think this is not working. Anyways, we're live now, and catching up with Desmond, and yeah, hopefully a couple of other guys who are playing football in Europe, semi-pro footballers. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And this evening, the goal here is to answer your questions. We're strictly on business. How can you come to Europe and become a professional footballer? 100%, you know. And this time is about you doing it yourself. There's nobody, you don't need to get anyone to do it for you, is you doing it yourself. Okay, this evening with me is Desmond. I think most of you must have seen my video with Desmond. I with some other guys. Desmond was playing. I don't play, but I like to watch football and also like follow the guys. Ooh, Desmond is also wearing green. Why are you wearing?
What a coincidence.
Why are you wearing green like me? Hey,
Yeah.
so how's it going, man?
I'm good, Mike. Thanks. And you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Finished work not long ago.
Ah,
Yeah,
great.
very,
Good.
very interesting that both of us are wearing green. All right. So Desmond, everybody has been waiting for us to hold this session, you know,
Uh,
and
Yeah.
I, I think personally I've been very inspired by your story, and I like the passion with which you tell your story. But even beyond that passion, also how you want to help the young people from, like the young people back home, Cameroon, Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, wherever they are, you know, like we talked the last time. I think one can easily just miss their way, and just if you don't have the right information. And I think this information is usually at the fingertips of many
Yeah.
people. You just need that connection, right? And this
Yeah.
is why we're here. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
guys, meet Desmond. I'll let Desmond introduce himself, and bang.
Okay. Once more, Mike, thanks a lot for organizing this session. Actually, I consider it a privilege to have to share my story, my experiences, and to try to contribute to the upcoming generation in Africa
Yeah.
or Africans all over the world. I say Africans, I'm not being biased. It's because I just believe Africans have a limitation of information,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the times they don't have a lot of opportunities, you know.
True.
And I can only relate my story with them because that's what I experienced. Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So, about me, I've been in Germany for close to 7 years now, and I play football at a semi-professional level, and yeah, that's it. So,
Come on, man. So that's it, guys. Nothing more about Desmond. Now you know everything.
yeah, uh, uh,
Okay, okay. Desmond, so what's the bottom line of our message this evening to the guys? I think like you can testify,
uh,
many guys back home are very talented. There's no doubt about their talent,
yeah,
right? Now the
yeah,
big
yeah,
question is how do they achieve their dream? Genuinely, many of them, they genuinely love football,
yeah.
100%. You know,
Mm,
but
yeah,
the problem now is how do they become that thing that they wish to be? And this is the big question.
yeah, definitely. It's a million question. Yeah, it's $1 million question.
100%.
Um,
You know,
yeah, before I begin, I would like to establish that I would like to establish a disclaimer. So whatever thing I'm sharing with you guys is my experience. It's based on what I went through, what I saw, what I heard on my researches. So it could deviate to an extent from others' experiences. So you should take it with a pinch of salt. Yeah. Um, so that's what I wanted to establish at the beginning. So definitely there are a lot of talents in Africa, a lot of talents. I grew up seeing so many upcoming Messi's or Cristiano Ronaldo's in the quarters, and many of them they ended up not achieving their dreams, because I think every African that plays football wants to come to Europe, because that's actually the platform where the world gets to see you, you
Yeah,
know.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mike, your question was more related to how do they make it come to pass, or how do you realize it?
Yeah, I feel like that's a big question. I mean, one cannot answer it very simply, but just an overview, like with the what's more realistic. If you recall the first video we did, we could identify different categories of talents back in Africa. There are
Yeah,
those that the parent, they have the funding, but don't
yeah,
have the right information
yeah,
and connection.
yeah,
There are those they don't have information, no
yeah,
funding, no nothing. They just have their raw skills.
yeah,
And then there's
yeah.
like a combination of both, but they don't maybe have the right formation. It's a mixture of different factors, that just blocks them from getting to that, place where they want to get to.
Yeah, definitely. And the point is, I didn't want to say much on that because this was already covered in our video. So, guys, there is Mike will share the link later on our first video, which covered, I mean, a greater portion on how to get to that
Yeah,
level. But I can still add a few tips in order not to be redundant, because
sure,
there is
sure.
another angle which I aim to cover today. But definitely, like you said, um, they are footballers or talents from with different or very various backgrounds. So there are people who have rich parents who do not have the information.
Yeah,
There are those who have the information but do not have the funding. There are those who have guys that are willing to help but do not have the right contact,
yeah,
a mixture of things. So the question is, how do I get to Europe?
yeah.
How do I achieve my dreams? I don't just want to play in Africa, but I want to play the champion. No, not champ. Okay, some want to play the Champions League,
Why not?
which is the highest stage, which is the highest stage of European football or kind of world football. But just to get into Europe, get a team, get a professional club. How do I go about it? So there are various ways to go about it. Of
Definitely.
course, with an agent, with a football agent, it's possible for you to come to Europe. Without an agent, you can come like a student to Europe and play football. So we are speaking more about the legal ways.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And guys, for sure, as we already announced before now, the main aim of this call or this live session is to take your questions. So I hope you're ready. Ask your questions, start shooting, and we'll be picking your questions one after the other.
Exactly, Mike.
I have one.
I just saw a question there. I hope you're taking them down, Mike.
Yeah,
Perfect. Okay.
so I'm
Yeah,
seeing one now. The first
yeah,
one I already went through from
yeah.
Author.
Mhm.
Daniel Author Jr. said, please, if you school in Germany, can you still play football?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Of course, I came here as a student, and like I said, that's one of the means which you can use in order to achieve your dreams to play football. So, as a student, you can play football. You will have to be diligent. You have to be rigorous. You have to plan your time efficient because school is very demanding. If at all you want to have a certificate, if you want to end up graduating, it's very demanding. And as a student, you have not just your studies, but you have to work in order to finance your studies.
Yeah,
So you have work, you have school, and with football, it will depend on the level you want to play. If you want to play as an amateur, most amateur clubs train just once a week. So once a week, and the training session is almost an hour, 30 minutes. Yeah, so it's doable. If you want to play as a semi-professional, so you'll be ready to train 3 times a week and to play
yeah,
on Sundays. So basically, you have to be on the pitch 4 times a week. And to play at a professional level, it's something else. I don't think a student can play at the professional level. It's
I
difficult,
see.
but it's possible because to play at the professional level, you'll be required to train, I think, twice daily, and you have to train, I think, 6 times a week.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, in general, it's possible. The question is now how you can plan yourself as a
Exactly.
student, you know,
Yeah.
to manage your studies and maybe a side job if you need it, and then training, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We will still come to that. Let me just see. Someone said, how please can you also post the live? I think you can help us do that by sharing the live wherever. I mean, we wouldn't be posting the live right now when we are on the live. How do I get my student visa? So this is a very valid question because yeah, if you want to come to Germany or Europe as a student, then obviously you need a student visa. So how
Mm.
to get your student visa really depends on which country in Europe that you are
Yeah.
applying to study,
Yeah.
right? But in general, I would tell you that once you get the admission for a particular study program, you already meet most of the requirements for you to
Mm.
get the student visa.
Yeah.
The only other thing which becomes necessary is your proof of financial sustenance, that you have enough money to take care of yourself
Yeah.
during your studies, right?
Mm.
So if you're able to do this, then definitely you will get the student visa. You get the admission, you know about the proof of fund, you book an appointment.
Yeah.
Other details might come in depending on the particular country. So
Mm.
I have a Telegram group which I manage, and we answer all these kind of frequently asked questions, and then we can send you link to the relevant article or video or
Yeah.
whatever, so you can watch it. So if you check if you check the bio here, you will see our link tree and also the link to the Telegram handle. So feel free to join. Clement is here. Nice. I just accepted his invite. Uh, so Clement. The master is here. Hi, Clement.
Mr. Clement. Hi.
It seems like his network is lagging. Okay.
Yeah.
So while Clement is
Clement, can,
setting up his stuff, um,
The conversation.
nice.
Sorry, I'm not home yet, but I'll be home in a few minutes.
Okay.
I,
I think we'll still be on for still that time. If you
um,
want, you can join when you're settled at home.
yeah, yeah, it's better.
So, guys, Clement also recently moved to Europe, and he's also playing as well. He's going to share his story a bit and can also tell
the one
some
shop, please.
relatable things.
This one? And want the high.
So Desmond, we have a question here
Hello,
for
guys.
you. Said Mr. Desmond, I am a
Clement,
player in Nigeria, play for a local team,
You there?
but I want to take it to the next level by playing in Europe,
Hello?
but I don't have the funds or agents.
Sorry,
How can you help?
I didn't
how
get
can
you.
you help? Is the question for
Mike,
me?
Clement, can you rejoin when you're at home, when you're a little bit stable? Because there's a lot of background noise and I can't get clearly what Mike is saying.
Okay, then just give me just 10, 15 minutes. I'll join you guys, please.
Oh,
I'm not far from the
okay,
house.
okay,
It's perfect.
okay. No,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Thank you
no.
very much.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
So, yeah, so Mike, please, can you retake your question? I didn't get it perfectly.
So
Sorry.
yeah, it's so the guy is asking.
Hmm.
He plays with a local team in Nigeria, and
Yeah.
how can he take it to the next level by playing in Europe? He doesn't have funds or agents, so how can I would say we, not you. Let me not put it on you. How can we help? How can
Okay.
we help?
It doesn't have fun. At my level, it's difficult for me to help. Like I explained to you, Mike, uh, the contacts I have are at the local level, and the guys, most of the clubs in which I have contact to, they are not professional clubs. They are semi-professional clubs and amateur clubs,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And semi-professional and amateur clubs, they have a budget constraint,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Say it's very difficult for them to get players from Africa. So on that, I'm kind of tied.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get a visa to any European country, then I can help you from there. But from Africa, it's difficult.
Yeah.
The reason is that, yeah, football agents generally have a given condition or requirement they are to fulfill when they are, if they are to bring players from Africa, and most of the times it's always this financial guarantee that I'm going to take up the player if he's here. So it's always huge. The requirements are so high that for agents to bring players from Africa, the player in most cases has to be extremely talented. And from my experience, the player must have played in the national team, especially bringing them to Germany, because Germany,
Yeah,
Germany is a
let me
tough
just add on
one.
that. So
Yeah,
I think I guess your name is Christian. So really the thing is, yeah, the strategy that Desmond and we are preaching to you guys is find a way to get to Europe.
yeah,
And me, I'm someone who is specialized with helping people who want to study or work in Europe. So
yeah,
I guess the focus would be how can you get to Europe, right? That would be the first step.
yeah,
Studying is one option. And when it comes to studying, now there's a question of fund or no fund. Now, if there's no fund, there are also other options. Are the options going to be easy? No. The thing people have to understand is it's either you have money or you have time. If you don't have money, then you need to have time. If you don't have time, you need to have money. Somehow you have to have one of them.
yeah.
So now you don't have money, but you need to have time and dedication. There are multiple scholarship options to get you to Europe. Most times when I talk about scholarship, people don't want to hear it because it's so annoying, so tiring, so demanding, blah, blah, blah. But you don't have money, you need to have time, you need to be patient. So 100%, there are scholarships that are fully funded and not dependent on grades.
Yeah,
There are different types of scholarship. You have to get the patience to look for which one will fit, your profile, and then work towards getting that scholarship. So
yeah,
I guess the bottom line in your case would be, okay, let's work with you, or I work with you to send you information about scholarship. You look into them, but you have to do the work yourself. It's your
yeah,
dream. You want to achieve the dream. We can provide you with the pathways, but then you have to do the work.
yeah, yeah.
So there's someone saying, can you work and train? Is it possible?
Yeah, definitely. You can work and train. I work, I study, and I play football. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I explained, as an amateur, you have to train just once a week. As a semi-professional, and the semi-professional, just to add more information, that the semi-professional level is between the fourth tier of German football till the eighth tier. That's the semi-professional. The fourth tier is called the regional liga, and the eighth tier is called the Big Six Liga. These are all German terms. So, in the semi-professional level, you're being paid, but it's not enough for you to earn a living, like for you to take care of your family or stuff like that. And there you are required to train 3 times a week, 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
So you can work and train, because importantly, the training sessions are done in the evening. So it's mostly between 7:30 to 9 p.m. It's always 1 hour 30 minutes. So either 7 to 8:30 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. because all who play at the semi-professional level are either students or workers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this flexibility, or rather this consideration already for you. So 100% it's possible to study and work at the same time. And I think if you're someone who is focused and dedicated, you know what you're looking for, it's very possible, and it's also practical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone said we should post the live. For sure, we're going to post the live. No worries, Abe. We will post the live after, or we will post the video after the live session, and you'll see it. Desmond, someone asked a question here saying, how can I do it myself? So hey, someone is asking, how can I get a body like you, Desmond? We will come to that. So how can you do it yourself? That's actually what we are trying to teach you here
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Yeah.
In simple terms, it's like this. What is your current qualification? Let's start from there, right? Bachelor's or no bachelor's, right? You have a bachelor's, okay. You'll be thinking about an applicable master's study
Mm-hmm.
program. Germany, in
Yeah.
Holland, the Czech Republic, Portugal, wherever around Europe, right? If you don't have a bachelor's degree, then you're thinking about getting a bachelor's degree here. Depending on your country, you may not be able to come to Germany directly for a bachelor's degree. If you are from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, or these countries with similar educational system, you may have to do a foundation program, blah, blah, blah. If you are from
Yeah.
Cameroon, Tanzania, you can come directly after your secondary school because they have similar educational system, right? So again, which degree will you go for, bachelor's or master's? Now you are here, you've sorted that out, you're here, you settle down. If we are still connected, me or Desmond, then we can help you, say with a list of where to go, what to play, and you can also do it yourself, really, Desmond, I don't know if you would like to maybe share the first time you went to your first club that you trained with and how you just got into the first playing. Let them just be able to relate
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Gladly.
you.
When I came to Germany, that was in Au- August, September. September. I think it was the 3rd of September, 2016. When I came as a student with the intention to become a professional footballer. Like for most of you who are probably watching this video, it's with the aim of becoming professional footballers or semi-professional footballers. So when I came, for the first 2 months, I struggled to have information on any football club. Yeah, because the guys that received me were non-footballers and they had no idea about football. So before I traveled, I tried to inquire on how football works in Germany. I did everything possible. Due to the language barrier, it was difficult for me to get materials in English.
Mm.
Everything was in German, and my German was not good. So I was at the basic level. So I arrived in Germany without a prior knowledge of football
Yeah.
or how football works in Germany. And I had to struggle to get the information myself. And in struggling to get the information myself, I never had ample time to train, or my training level started reducing.
Okay.
So basically, I met a classmate who was who was a Spaniard, sorry, and he spoke to me about a club in which he was playing, and he said he could speak to his coach to invite me for a trial session. So when I went there on the first day, I lifted up the ball. Just by lifting up the ball, the manner in which I lifted up the ball, the guys called me to sign immediately with them.
Really?
And I was so excited because for the first 2 3 months for the first 2 months I had been looking for clubs and I could not find any information, no club. So I was like, wow, this club is willing to sign me. And the point is, when I arrived, I saw two pitches. I saw the natural grass and the artificial grass. I saw a vestry. I saw a whole institution, buildings. It was well set up. The guys that were training were all of them had good boots. There were so many balls on the field. And I was like, oh my God, this is probably a third division in Germany, a third tier in Germany. So I was so excited, yeah, and I signed,
Okay.
and that's how I got in the club. So I trained with them on that day, and they told me training sessions will be twice every week. So after after the first 3 weeks, I tried to inquire from my teammates, like, what kind of football club is this? We train just twice. I thought we would be training every day. And the coach told me, no, all these guys are workers. All these guys are students. This is the 8th tier. This is the 9th tier.
Serious?
Ninth,
Nine.
ninth division. And I was shocked. Oh my God. Because in Cameroon, first division professional clubs or first tier clubs or first division clubs do not even have football pitches, not to talk of two football pitches, and well organized, clean, everything. So that was a shock for me. Yeah, that's how I got into my first football club. And importantly, guys, the fact that I started in the 9th year destroyed my profile as a footballer. It destroyed my profile. This is my advice to you. Before you get yourself into any club in Germany, most importantly in Germany, inquire. If you want to become a professional or a semi-pro, don't join any club beneath the semi-pro level. Don't join.
So which division is below the semi-pro? Which division is below that?
That's the 9th tier. So like I explained, from the 4th tier to the 8th tier, the 4th tier is called Regional Liga.
Okay.
And the 8th tier is called the Basics Liga.
Okay,
it's generally called the Basics Liga. Yeah. So from the 8th to the 4th, it is semi-professional. Okay. You are paid to play football. You're paid to play football at a certain level. Yeah. And the 9th tier is amateur. It's amateur. You're not paid anything. Yeah.
What do they do? What's the plan there? What's the plan in that division? Just play for fun?
They play for fun, exactly. Okay, let me explain further. In Africa, we have in Cameroon, we call it Santi, or like people who play football for fun every day. You meet, you guys gather, and you guys play. In Africa, we have it. We have groups that play every day. If you go to the pitch, you see people playing football, you join them. Here in Germany, there are no such things.
Okay.
You seldom find such things.
Yeah.
To play football as a hobby, you need to join. In most cases, you need to join a club. And those guys, they play football for fun. Mm-hmm. So the objective there is just to play football, to keep a community, to stay healthy, but they are not paid. Yeah.
No wonder they grabbed you as soon as you touched the ball.
Exactly, because it was free.
Okay. Yeah, I think, guys, the bottom line is really, before you do anything, just make sure you speak with someone who at least knows it. And I can imagine how difficult it is. If you don't have the right network, then you just, that's what's going to happen. And this is also the reason why we are trying as much as we can to reach as many people as possible. Because, again, we all want you guys to succeed. And the only way you can succeed is if you have the right information.
Yeah.
A little mistake, you are like done forever.
You're done. Mike, I can't overemphasize on this aspect. Yeah. Guys, if you come to Germany, don't join any club. If you want to play at the professional or a semi-professional level, don't join any club beneath the 8th tier, beneath the Basics Liga. Don't join any club if you want to play at the semi-professional level. Because to go to the next club, they will ask you where you came from.
Yeah.
And if they know that you came from an amateur, psychologically, they will think you are not a good player. They will not. It will be difficult for them to comprehend or to understand that you came from Africa or that you joined that club without a prior knowledge. And if you're coming from Africa, because most guys who come from Africa to play at a professional level are guys that have been training hard in Africa. I know, because my body structure, it does not, guys, I work like a beast in Africa. So when you come, and if you join an amateur club, the training there is basic. The training just twice. It's not serious. So your skills, your talent will die. That is going to reduce. So that is my advice. Don't join any club beneath the Basics Liga or the 8th tier in Germany. Yeah.
So there's someone asking here saying, besides Germany, what other countries do we advise players to try and play and study?
Okay. To play and study, I think you can play and study in England, but I don't have much information on that. You can play and study in England, in Poland, in Lithuania, in Malta, in France, so many European countries. there is that flexibility, there is that consideration, because there are guys who actually wanted to get to the professional level, but because of injury or one thing or other could not make it. So they give them this room for them to play football at a semi-pro level and to work or study. Yeah. So in any European country, you can do that.
Yeah, I think so. So,
Thank you.
I guess for most of the audience or listeners, the the ideal thing would be to recommend locations where the cost of studying is relatively low.
Yeah.
You know, so it fits in with their budget. So Germany, depending on your country, would be the number one choice. But again, coming to Germany even as a student is getting more and more difficult these days. So if you can
Mike.
find your way, fine. If not, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something to that. Of course, getting to Germany from Africa is getting more and more difficult. We spoke about that, Mike, in the car the other day. But there are other options, guys. There are other options. You can get to other European countries who, which have relatively less stringent rules or requirements, like Poland, like Lithuania, like Greece, Latvia, yeah,
Hungary.
Hungary, yeah, other countries that have relatively lesser requirements than Germany. And when you get to those countries, any EU country, you can just research EU countries. If you get to any EU country, you can then apply from there, apply for you apply for a university position, let's say a bachelor program or a master's program. And once from there, it will be easier for you to get into Germany. So it must not necessarily be directly from Nigeria or from Cameroon into Germany. Even Italy, someone just mentioned it, this niche Italian. Even Italy is a good country. You know, they have lesser requirements compared to Germany. So, but from there, when you get into Germany, it's easier for you to get into Germany from those other countries.
Just
Someone.
to touch on that. So, I think countries for sure that you guys want to consider are countries that the tuition is really on the low side, and Italy is on top of the list. There's Italy on top of the list. There is the Czech Republic. There is Portugal. There's Hungary. Think about these four countries, and then if you want to step it up a bit, you can also think about Poland. You can then think about the Baltic countries, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania. But as Desmond mentioned, wherever you are here, just find your way to Germany. Let's take some more.
Danilo.
Some people are talking to me directly.
There's someone. I have a friend. I have an Italian friend in Stuttgart. The first time where I arrived, he was so good to me. You know, he's the one who just mentioned Italy. You know, that we can go to Italy before coming to Germany.
You know, recently we got admissions for some students in Italy. The tuition is as low as 300 euros per semester. That's literally nothing, you know, for studying abroad.
I feel.
Yeah, think about Italy. Someone was asking, please, how is the 4th division in Germany? I'm not sure what he wants to know exactly, but maybe Desmond, you can take that.
Okay, how's the 4th division in Germany? The 4th division in Germany is called the Regionalliga. It's the highest semi-professional level in Germany. What are the requirements? How often do they train? They train basically, I think 4 or 5 times a week. Yeah, because it's just a step to the professional level. Yeah, they train 4 or 5 times a week. Regarding their salary, most players earn within the range of 1,500 euros to 4,000 euros, depending on how good they are, depending on how good you are, depending on your experiences. So that's it for the Regionalliga. If there's any other question while I'm talking, just send it. Maybe I don't cover everything, just send it and I'll be able to. Someone just mentioned to Portugal. Yeah, Chris, Portugal is equally.
Portugal, I missed that for sure. Portugal. Desmond, there's a guy here, Daniel. So Daniel says he's already in Berlin and he's studying sports and event management. He's a master's student, but he doesn't know anyone to help him to get into a semi club. So Daniel, have you been training? Have you trained before? Like, what's your profile like?
Daniel, for that, of course, if you can get into contact with Mike after this, and I'll be willing to help you. We can chat a little bit later on. Yeah, just contact Mike and we'll talk. I have some guys in Berlin who could help you get a semi-professional club, but I'll need to know a little bit on your background, on where you've been playing. Yeah, see how I can help. Yeah.
So Daniel, yeah, stay connected. Get in touch with me. I'll link you up with Desmond. No issues.
Mike, someone just mentioned Carfor playing again. It's important for me to say it. That was my first club. And the guy Khaled, that's his name. He was one of the best players there. Yeah. The first club I joined in Germany. Carfor playing again. Yeah.
Nice.
Hi, Khaled.
Okay. So someone is interested in scholarship. Okay, get in touch. We'll talk about scholarship some other day. How about a player who's talented and also has a little bit of sponsorship? How can such a player come to Germany regardless of the divisional level? I mean, when you say a bit of sponsorship, how do you mean exactly? If you have sponsorship to get you to Europe, then that's what we're talking about, right? You get to Europe and then, we can take it up from there for you.
Exactly. Guys, once you're in Europe, contact Mike. He's going to link you with me. And when he knows your background, what you want to do, if it's football or it's school. If it's football, he'll get in contact with me and I'll see how I can help. If you're in Europe,
It's straightforward, guys, really.
And what I'm saying is the clubs, the contacts which I have are mostly semi-professional. I don't want to, it's nothing professional, guys. Like I said, I'm not deep into football.
From the semi to go
Exactly.
To
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you can't promise to put them at the professional level. You would put yourself there already, So they for sure need to start from the semi-pro level and get to the professional level. So helping them to get into the semi-professional level that's all they need.
Yeah.
From there, that's where they grow. So
definitely.
The main thing we should be talking about, or the main things that people should focus on, is how to get to Germany. And for sure, majority of you guys, the best option would be via the student visa. So if you claim that, hey, football is your dream, you want to achieve that dream, you want to get there, then really channel your energy now to staying fit, of course, and then finding a way to get to Germany as a student.
Yeah.
And this is where I come in to help you to see that this happens. You come to Germany as a student, and from there, I connect you with Desmond, and we'll find the best, we'll find the available semi-professional club for you to join.
Yeah.
I can get the scholarship. Great. Yeah, keep in touch. Join the Telegram. Let's talk. Get the scholarship. It would be nice to connect. Nicely answered, Mike. Thank you. So, my best mind. Sehr schön, Danny. Okay. Interested in joining a semi-pro team for a start? I know I have to start small, and I am blessed to be in a league team with a little bit of sponsorship. How do I go about coming to Germany to play? So, Egbe, if that's your name, how to go about it is coming to Germany as a student. And if you check this page right now, Jakarta.travel, you will find many related posts. You can also check the link in our bio for also related posts and content. And if you want to have like a chat, there's also our official Telegram group where we are also very active, answering all these kind of questions, So
Merci Theo.
Bundesliga will ich dich sehen, die ganze Welt würde ich sehen, die Bundesliga 100%.
By the way, guys, when I speak of the semi-professional level, don't think if you begin at the semi-professional level, you're going to end at the semi-professional. It depends on how good you are. You guys know football works as quick as magic. In the twinkle of an eye, you can leave from a semi-professional level to a professional level. In the twinkle of an eye, in a second, you can get to it. Football, that's the beauty of football or sports. There's not a lot of protocol. Everything is seen on the pitch. Everything is seen by the spectators, by the coaches. If you're good, yeah. If you're great, if you're talented, you'll be picked up, you'll be seen. You know, that's how it works. So don't think, I've been training in Africa to become a pro. How can I come and join a semi-professional? You always have to start from somewhere, guys. You always have to start from somewhere. And no professional club will admit a mere player for trials. It doesn't work that way, guys. It doesn't work that way. And I know someone who started at the 8th tier. 1 year later, he went to the 7th tier. He got promoted. A year later, he moved to the 4th tier, no, to the 5th tier called the Oberliga. A year later, he went to the 4th tier called the Regional Liga. And a year later, he was signed by a second division club, Hansa Rostock. Yeah. So I'm speaking with pros. I'll call him my younger brother, you know. So in the space of 4 years, in the space of 3 to 4 years, he did this miracle. It's possible. It's true. It's difficult. It's challenging, but it's possible, guys. Yeah. And very soon, I spoke to Mike about it. Very soon, in one of these days, we are going to invite him to share his story with you guys. Yeah. Because I did not make it to the professional level. Although so many guys are so disappointed, like, with all your talent, but there are guys that are even more talented than me that didn't make it. So there are a lot of factors, a lot of components, you know, a lot of stuff. So one of these days we're going to invite a guy who made it to the professional level, and he will share his story. Yeah, someone is just adding that he was a hardworking guy. It's very, very important. The guy who made it to the 2nd tier, Mike, he trained, he gave up a lot, you know. So with time, Mike will organize several sessions for me to bring out what was necessary, what he did, what were the steps, you know, just to encourage. Yeah.
What do you think about our guys back home? Like, what do you think they need to get to that level? So let's say they come here, you know, start playing, you know, semi-pro, or even before they come, for people who are still back home and they understand these things, like, what are those things that you would advise them? Say, hey guys, pay attention to this thing. You know, it's not all about coming here, but you know,
guys, for all those who are in Africa who are planning to come to Europe to play football, Mike, let me begin this way, because I have prepared some material. I'm going to be very detailed on it now, and it could take a couple of minutes. First thing is, football in Africa is different from football in Europe. Everybody knows that. Yeah. So what's the difference? In Africa, football is, from an owner's perspective, the one who has a club, it's more like an entertainment. You know, he's trying to make guys enjoy themselves. You know, he wants to make himself a name. But in Europe, football is purely a business. 100%. The players are not seen as human beings; they are seen as assets. Yeah. So in Africa, our football is mostly physical. It's mostly physical aspect. You have to be able to run. You must be strong. But in Europe, it's mostly tactical. It's mostly technical. I think the footballers will understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. So if you're in Africa, if you want to come to Europe, what you should work on first, it's about your ability to play one touch, guys. You have to work on your first contact. Extremely important. Your first contact, your first touch is extremely important. Of course, most Africans are generally better physically compared to European players who are more built up. It's a natural something, you know. But mostly, what is important is your technical abilities, your ability to play in a tight space, to play on one contact, and your first touch must be good. These are things we have to consider. And secondly, regarding football in Europe, in Africa, we get into academies or football clubs I'll say at the age of 10, 12, 13, someone is saying you have to climb. In Africa, they climb mountains. Yeah, they don't climb mountains, guys. They don't climb mountains to train. So, as I was saying, regarding the system, in Europe, they begin football at a very tender age.
100%.
At the age of 4, 3, this almost all male children in Germany are in an academy, whether they know how to play football or not. They are there, and they teach them the basics of football. So they go 4, 6, they are in it. Meanwhile, in Africa, what we play at the age of 4, 5, 6 is just what we call Sante. It's just hobby football, but that's not how it is here. So when you come from Africa, their first view is this guy does not have the basics of football.
Yeah.
He does not have we know that in Africa, this is how they see it. They see it like in Africa, you guys don't have the basic facilities. Probably you started playing at the age of 12 and you had to reduce your age. That is how they think. So, and that's why we have to reduce our age. Guys, reduce your ages before coming. I encourage you, reduce your age.
Not kidding. Reduce your
I'm not
age.
kidding, guys. I'm not kidding. You have to reduce your age. And it's a key factor. If you want to come and play if your aim is to come and become a professional, guys, you have to arrive here. You have to be beneath 19. That's my advice. You should be between 17 and 20, because when you arrive here, what they will say is maybe this is a talent, but we have to nurture his talent.
Yeah.
They will tell themselves, maybe he didn't get the basics like we do here, like from our system. So he will need some time for us to nurture him, to teach him some things. But when you're already 26, they'll be like, ça c'est un tête dure. They say in French, ça c'est tête dure, meaning you have a strong head. It's difficult for knowledge to get into. Yeah. And it's true, guys. It's true. When you're young, it's easier for you to assimilate information. At a certain age, it becomes difficult. So if you want to play professional, guys, try as much as possible. If it's possible to reduce your age, reduce it, guys. Reduce the age. Come 17, 20, 21, 20. You can still come. But I know some guys, it's possible for guys to think, oh, I already have a certificate. I already have maybe a bachelor's degree. So if I have to reduce my age, it will affect my certificate.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then you just have to come the way you are. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's it.
That's everything from your notes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That was it.
No, but I think maybe yesterday after the match you guys played against those guys, the
Hombeck. Hombeck.
We're talking about formation, having that right formation, from home. I would like to add that in addition to, besides just having this information, that people also, I would like to encourage them to also watch videos, videos of professional footballers. I think they need to be motivated from the inside,
Yeah.
to get that psychological, besides the physical formation, that psychological formation and mindset. And like you mentioned, understanding that football in Europe is first and foremost a business. Strictly, you saw
nobody likes you guys. They don't like you. Understand that. If they are taking you, it's because they know you're going to be profitable unto them.
I mean,
it's not about, no, this guy came from Africa. No. And know something, guys. Mike, sorry for interrupting.
Please. Go on.
Know something, guys. You have to ask yourself the question. If I have my brothers, if I have my children who are already playing football, why would I need to take someone else from Africa?
Yeah, I mean,
so
it's a logical question.
Yeah, that's the question to ask themselves. So for you to come in, you have to be extremely good, guys. You have to be brilliant. And like Mike said, how can you improve yourself? You have to watch videos of your best players. Let's say if you're a midfielder, then you're going to watch probably Toni Kroos, Modric, Busquets. If you're a defensive midfielder, if you're an attacking midfielder, maybe you watch Yaya Toure, you watch De Bruyne. If you're a striker, you watch Suarez, Eto'o, all those guys. That's how it works. But you have football before being physical is mental because decisions are taken at the level of the mind, your brain, your head. You know, you process information. So you have to educate yourself. That's how it is. Yeah. Sorry, Mike.
And if you want to watch Desmond, watch my videos. I'm always covering Desmond. Watch Desmond's video. I have some from yesterday. I'm going to post them soon. Okay. Let's see. So aside from school, what other ways or routes can easily take one to Europe? That's a good question. Other ways to come to Europe, there's family reunion, for example. There's also getting a job, you know, that's also another way. And very importantly, there's recently, I had a live on LinkedIn on Friday, and we were talking about the new immigration laws in Europe and then hiring from abroad, how it's becoming more and more flexible. So I don't know what's your profile, what qualification you have, but you have a high chance if you're skilled in certain kind of discipline that you can also come to Europe. For example, there's currently the job seeker visas, which is common now in Germany, in Sweden, in Portugal, and maybe Finland as well. But I know of Germany, Sweden, and Portugal. Portugal has like the least requirement. You can even come on a job seeker visa for a blue collar job, you know. So this is something to think about. Again, join the Telegram group, ask this question so I remember, and I'll send you the link to the article, how you can apply. And guys, what we're teaching you here is how to do it yourself. And you can do it, you know. So those would be like the other options for you to come to Europe. Let's see.
I saw a couple of questions there, yeah.
And frankly speaking, it's not really that expensive anymore because, again, there are many cheap locations in Europe. You know, it will still cost you something, but as many people would think, imagine. I mean, how many people know that they can study in Italy for as low as 500 euros per year? You know, I think that's cheap. You know,
studies in Germany are cheaper than in Cameroon. In Germany, for instance, a semester we pay 330 euro. I don't know the conversion. That's close to I would see in France, if from Cameroon, it's close to, let me do the quick conversion.
If I do the math in Naira, let's see. If I do the math in Naira, for example, let me just put a fixed figure of 300 euros. You know, the exchange rate is always going up and down. So I'll just use 300, for example. So that's around 240K. And I'm pretty sure many universities in Nigeria, they charge way more.
Yeah. Similarly to in Cameroon,
especially if you study in state universities. So
200,000.
One might think, okay, hey, how about the living expenses? It's expensive, but again, you have the opportunity to work for that money. You know.
Thank you, Theo. Thank you for it. So in Cameroon, the conversion is 200,000 a semester. Meanwhile, in Cameroon, a lot of universities, it's true that for public universities, the fee is 50,000 a year. But for private universities, we have some that pay close to 1 million. You know, that's way high for a quality of education that is relatively less than that of Germany.
Clement is joining now, so we'll get some fresh perspective from Clement. Hi, Clement.
Hi, guys.
Seems like you're very hungry,
bro. Man, sorry, I've been like outside because I was trying to, you know, get some stuff I need for tomorrow. Like most especially where I used to buy this my what they call it, my call rate, so that I can call whenever I'm in Poland and stuff, you know. So sorry for keeping you guys waiting. I'm really sorry.
No worries, man. No worries. All good.
I know I missed a lot.
yeah, let's let you quickly introduce yourself so that the guys get to know you and a bit of your story, and then we'll continue
Okay.
with that thing.
Um, I'm Clement Edache Itudu. Um, a Nigerian citizen. I'm a student of business management. I school in University of Economics and Innovation in Lublin, but partially and online. But sometimes I have to go to the university and stuff. So I'm a football player as well, semi-pro football player. And right now I live in Germany for a while now. So I think that's the best I can say for now.
Thanks, Clement. Thanks, Clement. Yeah. So let's see some of the questions people are asking. So
My
we talked
nine.
about age already. Desmond, you have so many fans
Yeah,
here.
someone is saying
There's still a man from
someone just recognized Clement and said my nine because he played in a Cameroonian tournament
So
and he was I think the highest goal scorer there, you know.
Oh, Clement.
Yeah, in
Are you
Cameroonian
serious?
tournament. So our captain, the captain of the Cameroon of the Bochum Cameroonian tournament just recognized Clement's face and said my nine, our nine shirt.
Nice,
so why
nice.
can't I see the comment? I'm not seeing comment. Or
Let's see.
okay, I'm
So
seeing it
guys,
now. I think.
ask your questions, man. Ask your questions.
Please, how did you get admission into university and how did you get into a team?
No, Clement, hold on.
Okay.
Clement, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Mike is taking the questions, you know, and he'll be putting it up
Okay,
to us. So
okay. Okay, I'll go. So
yeah.
So Clement, maybe maybe you can take this question, like getting admission and then into a team. I think you can focus maybe on the team part and I can focus on the admission area.
okay.
Yeah.
For the team, the team is for people who are coming to Europe basically in aspiring to be footballers, sometimes we have this motion that once we just cross Africa, everything works perfectly, But when I came to Europe, I saw that that's the reason why, when I was in Nigeria, I used to, from the academy I played for, the last academy I was with, FC Ebede, I noticed that they have affiliation with FC Midtjylland in Denmark. So sometimes you see some players, they travel and they come back, they don't make it. You understand? And it's very frustrating. Imagine somebody who went to Europe, he didn't make a professional team. I don't know, FC Ebede has produced a lot of players in Nigeria. I don't know if you know this Paul Onuachu, this tall defender, tall striker, who plays for, I think he just went to Southampton in January.
Okay.
He plays for Midtjylland. I think he made a serious name when he went to Belgium to, I think FC Ghent or Genk, one of them.
Yeah, Genk.
So he did really well. And there's this other guy now at Brentford who is from that same academy. What's his name? This guy, this Nigerian midfielder that plays as a forward, Onyeka.
Yeah.
He plays for Brentford. They're number 15 right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of players. I'm also a product from that academy. But the thing is, when you come to Europe, with the mentality you have from Africa, you're just like, if I just go the way where they play here, you go just. But the thing is,
this one is laughing.
maybe he's a living witness, It's not that easy. People always just think that, okay, wow, when you just come, everything just works so easy. No, it's not.
Thank you
Even
for
with
that.
me right now,
Thank you.
I'm still having struggling. Like Desmond knows some of these things because they say I cannot play like the German way. Yeah, but maybe I cannot keep the ball, I lose the ball. But at the end of the day, I'm a striker.
Yeah.
So sometimes one of the advantages I have is that, okay, for some people who already know me, they know that, okay, this guy, he finishes, but his problem is to keep the ball. Like sometimes the way Desmond will tell me, if you can perfect how to keep the ball. This was what we were even talking about this weekend. That if you perfect it, then it's like you become something that's combining keeping the ball and scoring goals. It's like, so when people who come to from Africa, they always look at it like, man, it's just easy. It's but there are basics. And most of these people, they have no idea, no clue about these things. It's just like somebody who is in Africa right now thinking, okay, wow, these guys are in Europe, everything is okay for them. But it's not so. It's not so, because sometimes you just stay and you think the way some people think, wow, do you think it's that easy? Yeah, it's not easy though, but it's still better than where you are coming from, or where they were, or where you were before. You understand? But what I'm
Yeah.
just trying to say is that for people coming to Nigeria from Africa, basically, you have to understand that there are procedures, and the way you see these things, it's not as easy as you think. For some, they are so lucky that when they came, it worked out for them.
Yeah.
Why for others, it did not. And the advantage with coming with school is this: when you come with school, even if you don't get a team now, your school keeps you there. So you begin to do other things at least to get something doing. You understand? So school gives you a longer time or duration in Europe, at least to figure yourself out or figure something. But in football, there was a guy who traveled the same year I traveled, or some months later after I traveled from Nigeria. But he traveled from that same academy. Then he went directly to, I don't know if you know this team, Westerlo in Belgium.
He went for
Westerlo,
trials.
second division, or I think, or first division right now.
Mhm.
So at that moment, I wish, like, oh my God, when I left this academy, this guy got his chance and he went to Westerlo. And just last 2 weeks or last week, my friend was telling me that he was back to the academy again. That I think he didn't make it and stuff. Now, this is how I am feeling. Like, for him now, going to Europe was like, oh my God. And for his own, he went with just basically football. And the bad side about going for only football, like, let's say an agent takes you now to Europe, your stay there will only be based on, number one, if you are good, you meet up with the trials. Then number two, if a team wants to keep you, because if they don't keep you, there is no way they could give you visa to stay.
Yeah,
I don't know if you understand
of
it.
course.
So now this my friend who were in the academy, Oriyomi, he's a very nice guy, nice player, young, very young boy. I think 19, 20. But right now the thing is, he's back to Africa because, okay, since he could not sign a professional contract, he couldn't remain in Belgium.
Yeah.
So now when I look at this thing and I say, oh wow. So when I was wishing, I wish I was the one that had that chance he had. But now you see, imagine if I was the one who could not make it. So you see, automatically now I would have gone back home.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you something, Clement.
Mhm.
That guy now, what are his chances of coming back to Europe again?
Well, the thing is,
for another
according to
trial?
what I heard, what one of the guys told me from the academy, that the agent who took him said that they are processing teams for him. They are trying to still look for teams, But the thing is, sometimes, like, I know of a certain, when you go from that academy, I know the boss very well to some extent. The man is this kind of man, like me. If you see Desmond, some of these guys, when I came to, like, when I'm new in some team, and I see some guys behaving so, like, soft, and the way I used to go hard on them is like, that's the way I was brought up. Yeah, because this manager, I don't know if you know Mr. Churchill Olise.
You mean
He's the one.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
No.
That's Sunday. Sunday Olise.
Yeah,
That's
of
his
course.
elder brother. Yeah, that's the manager.
Ah, okay, of course. Yeah.
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 So now, the man makes us to understand that in life, you must try so hard to make it. He will even tell you that sometimes, even if it means for you to kill your opponent just to make it, do it. And one thing about him is that the man, once he sent you to Europe and he just hear, even if it's injury, he does not care. Once he hears that you could not get a professional contract, bro, when you come back, bro,
Guys,
life is really difficult for you. Even if there are
sorry, go on. I just wanted to drop a comment. The guy whom I talk about, who left from the semi-professional level to the professional, who recently signed for the second division side, just commented on this one. His name is Patson NKS.
okay, Patrick.
Oh,
Yeah, Patson NKS, Mike.
shout out.
So,
Shout out, bro. Shout out,
hi,
bro.
Patrick. Salut, Patrick.
Salut, Patrick. Congrats, Mike. Congrats. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Clement, you can go on, please.
Yeah, so the agent is that when you go to Europe and you couldn't make it, man, it's really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Even if there's a new opportunity coming in the academy, because they travel like 2 times a year to take players to Midland. So if you go, he believes that once you go to, he sends you to Europe and you don't make it, he sees you as a failure.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes in life, it's not always like that. It's not
Yeah.
always. You understand? Now,
Yeah.
one thing I understand is this. In Germany here, I have played for some teams so far. I made a name in some. I could not make so much impact in others. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, if you check my record, there are people who right now, if you mention my name to the glory of God, they know that, oh, this guy, yeah, man, this guy, machine. And there are still players and teams that, when you mention my name, they have negative things to say. Now, this is how it is. At some point, I made name at some team, and some team I could not impact. Maybe because the team was struggling, or maybe the trainer style of play was not favoring me. So you see, it's two ways. So what I'm just trying to say is that for people who come to Europe for basically for football and not make it, it's not like sometimes maybe they are good. Because if they were not good, they will not be given that chance to travel. Because I believe for some,
Yeah, I just wanted to add something that, guys, I have a player. He's been commenting. He's been following us. The guy is one of the best I've ever seen in Europe, in Germany. Sorry, one of the best African players I've ever seen. But I have taken him to several clubs for trials, and they have never selected him. You know, but when he plays football, when Africans watch him, you know, they're like, this is a talent. But he has gone to several clubs, but they have not picked him. Like, we can't figure out why he didn't work out. So, like Clement is saying, these guys, they have their way of judging football. They have their way of perceiving football. But one thing I wanted to add is this. Guys, if you want to go for trials, there are two things that I, from experience, have noticed that they pay much attention to. The first is there are three things. The first is your ability to play in tight space, in tight spaces. The second is your ability to play in one touch, with one touch. And the
one
third,
touch, the professional level, one touch,
the ability to play one touch, guys. And the third factor, which is extremely important when you go for trials, irrespective if you are a defender, a midfielder, you have to score goals. You have to score goals when you go for trials. I speak out of experience, not just having done trials.
I'm a living witness. With all the teams I've played, you see that my first few games are always like, so there's no way you could have a player like that who is delivering, like you will be convinced so fast. And so that's why I told you, even in this our new team, that first come, first serve. Since it's a new trainer, the moment you begin to show your impact immediately, even if there's somebody who is better than you, but because you've gone, like, just like an early bird, you've displayed your talent already. You understand? So even if it does not work out later on, you've already made an impact for them to keep you. So that's the you're right.
Mike, maybe we go through there have been a lot of questions. Let's just focus on the questions.
About Danny, how to get admission. We talked about this briefly, but for sure, how to get admission. The first thing is, what is your current qualification? Bachelor's. Do you have a bachelor's or you don't have a bachelor's degree? Right. So if you know this, then you would have to like think about the corresponding schools. So in Europe, you can study either tuition free or very low tuition or on scholarship. Right. So you have to also decide this and then think about where, you know, which school you want to study. So how to get admission? You find the uni, the course, check their requirements, and then you apply. You know, that's like literally how it works.
Thank you, Theo. Yeah. So.
Okay, now.
Hi, Theo. That's what Theo is the captain now from that team. One and only captain.
By the way, I was speaking with Theo today. I want to invite him to come and do trials with us that FSV Duisburg. Yeah, I want
Okay,
him
okay,
to come and
okay.
join us. I think if he comes, guys,
Desmond, what
it's going to
do
be
you think?
fire.
Should I also come for trial?
You are free
Yeah.
to come.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Mike, by the way, KO is doing something very important. He's just listing the points, the important factors, or what people are to consider when they go for trials.
Yeah,
He has just
yeah,
listed the 3 points. So,
that's true.
thanks, KO, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Theo. Desmond, could you touch on that? Maybe you or Clement to touch on those things for people to keep in mind when they go for trials. I think we've touched it a bit, but maybe to just go through it, those points, you know, like the one-touch stuff,
Okay.
keeping the balls.
First and foremost, like I said, when you go for trials, it means you want to integrate a team of players, right? And the question is, why should they bring you in? Why should a white
Personally.
bring in a
Yeah.
foreigner to come and play in his team?
Why
Right,
should they
Clement?
sign you? You know?
Why
Yeah.
should they sign
Yeah.
you? Because most teams, most semi-professional teams have their team B and they have their under 19 and under 23, which is not even part of their reserve team. So you can see that they have a pool of players on which they can choose. So they can choose players from their reserve team, they can choose players from their under 19 or under 21. So the question is, why should they take you? So if they are to take you, you must not be at the same level like their players.
Or lower than their players.
Lower is even off.
Of course.
Yeah.
You have to be better than your players.
You have to be not better, far better than their players. Far better. Because for them to bring you in, there is a lot of cost. For instance, they will have to pay you probably higher than the existing players, or it could be a communication problem. Like the trainer maybe will have to be speaking in English, and these guys in Germany, for instance, they don't like speaking in English, even if they know how to
Remind me
speak.
of my days in Tuxport.com.
So they don't like speaking in English because imagine a trainer trying to explain the tactics. He will speak in German and he has to speak in English. It's kind of time consuming to them. So the question is, why should we go through this train to bring in this new player? So guys, you have to be extremely good. And what does it mean to be extremely good? First, you have to be able to win all your duels. It's called duel in English, right? All your duels. I think footballers understand what a duel is. So you have to be able to win all your duels during the trials. Like I said, your first touch must be very good because football in Europe or in Germany is tactical. Once before you receive the ball, there is a player on you, guys. It's not like in Africa. In Africa, it was different. From my experience, from a Cameroonian perspective, the best player is the one who knows how to dribble a lot. You know, it's not the one who knows how to dribble a lot. The best player is the one who is able to play one touch and to play an accurate pass. So you have to work on your first touch and your passes. You have to be able to process information within a short space of time, to be able to understand the instruction, because they have a lot of exercises. Clement knows about that. Today they will tell you, after playing the pass, you run to the left, you have to touch this person and do this. The next day it will be something different. There is always something new. So when you go for trials, your ability to understand these training sessions are important. Not that people are going to the left and you are going to the right, or they play with the first touch, you want to do two touches. It takes you out. Another aspect is during trial sessions, you have to be extremely humble. What does that mean? When they say we need 3 players or 4 players to go and carry the goals, or to pick up the cones, or to pick up the beeps, even if you're 25, even if you're 27, when the younger ones are going, go and pick it, because that's how these guys, they notice team players. You know, someone who is humble, extremely important. And Germans, they believe no one is indispensable.
Of course.
Clement, say something on that just for a minute before I continue. Like no one's indispensable.
The thing is, what I'm going to add up is this. Character-wise, it's just like similar to what you were saying, because you know there are players you and I know that especially Germans, no matter how good you are, once your character is not in line to what they want, they don't mind to lose the whole season, but you will not
Yes.
play.
Yeah.
You will not play.
Yes.
And like with my experience, you know, when I was unlucky, when I went to teach for Dortmund, because the trainer called me personally and told me, yeah, he does not want me, that he has other players and stuff. Because I was new. I just signed for them and it was winter. Because it was a difficult transfer, it was winter.
Yeah.
So, you know, somebody telling you that, then I was like, I cannot just bow down for that. I still wanted to fight. But I discovered that, okay, along the line, I was making errors in training because I was trying to impress him. I was not myself. Because I'm this kind of person who, when I go anywhere, I don't really care. I just do what I know. And it comes naturally. So when I started doing, like, trying to do like this guy or that guy, it became a problem. But what I mean character is that I know for once I never disrespected the trainer. And Desmond saw in the newspaper or something that was written last year that said the trainer was talking about me, that my character was really nice and stuff. Because I know, even till I left the team, I was never like, there was not day I disrespected. So you have to understand that, bro, it's not just about your skills.
Italian, yeah.
There are a lot of things they look at, little things you'll be thinking that, okay, yeah. Sometimes you wonder, why am I not playing?
Yeah.
There are things they don't like. Maybe you're always arguing, you're always fighting, you're always complaining.
Yeah.
They don't like those things.
And one thing is, the difference between, I'll say, most Africans and Europeans is, we Africans, we tend to react immediately.
Yes.
So if you're angry with someone, you tell the person immediately. But with Europeans, or let's say with Germans, they are quiet. They observe. They observe. They observe and they accumulate. They see how far you can go. They give you the space, they give you the room to express your true self.
Yeah.
So, for instance, during a party, they'll bring bread or fish, and we see how we eat. Who comes and takes more than the others? Are you the one who want to grab it? It's important. Like I say, it's key. During training, they say we need someone to pick up the cones, you know, or the beeps. Are you the first to go and pick, or you want to watch others? Or after the training session, have you struggled to pick the balls that went into the bush, or I don't know? Do you struggle? Are you for Germans, the most important thing is, are you a team player? Even for jobs, Mike, I think you can attest to that. Are you a team player? It's not about being individual, and that's why they call it La Mannschaft. The German national is La Mannschaft. A team. It's all about being a team. So it's important. And two other things for trial sessions. You have to be punctual, guys. Germans
don't ever come late.
Yeah.
Germans do not joke.
Testimony. I'm somebody who I was really indisciplined when it comes to timing. But Germany is really shaping me because, Paul, don't come late.
Yeah.
They don't come late.
In Africa or in Cameroon, let me speak from a Cameroonian perspective. When we say, let's meet at 3 p.m., from a Cameroonian perspective, 3 p.m. means 3:30 or 4 p.m.
Or 4 o'clock, yeah, man.
Or 4 o'clock. But here in Germany, if they say we have our training at 7 p.m., it's not at 7 p.m. you're supposed to arrive. You're supposed to arrive at 6:30 to prepare yourself. And guys, for games, we arrive here 1 hour 30 minutes ahead of our games. Extremely important. And so punctuality is key. And the last point that I mentioned, which I want to emphasize upon, is your ability to score goals. Irrespective if you're a defender. Clement came, he did his trial. On the first day of his trial, the coach called me because I bought Clement. When he just came in, I took him to my club. And the first day, the coach told me, I want this guy. Why? Because he arrived and he scored a lot of goals. He was just, he kept on scoring goals. It's important. It doesn't matter if you're a defender or if you're a midfielder. Guys, I'm not just speaking because of myself or Clement, but Clement knows I have sent so many players in several clubs to do trials. And they always call me the clubs, they call me to give me like the results, like, oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
guy was not good. And most of the time, it's because they were not able to score goals. It's either you're scoring goals or you're giving the assist, the
yeah.
last pass for the goals. Extremely important, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mike. Yeah, that was it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So let me just take some questions. Someone was asking, like, how much will be enough for school and play for Nigeria? So, how much will be enough for school? So, the tuition really varies, right? Some places you don't pay anything for tuition, like Germany. Other places
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
pay 500, 1,000, 1,200 euros per year or per semester. So, it really varies. And right now, I can't tell you, like, okay, if you have X, Y, Z million naira, it will
Yeah,
be enough
but
for everything.
you have to make them understand that he just here in Germany you're talking about, because in some, like for me in Poland, my school fee is 2,200 euros because it's a private university too.
Yeah.
A
I'm telling you.
semester. A
Yeah, a
semester?
year, a year, a year.
A year.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
So you see,
but guys, I think you can. There are many other like
and
cheaper
again,
things. You know?
if you want a school in Germany that is more cheaper, you should make them understand that it's only free when you have to school in Dutch. Like it has to be in Dutch language. I think Desmond, huh? Because in English you
Yeah.
have to pay.
No,
You
no,
have to
no,
make
no,
them
no, no,
understand.
no. No,
Okay.
no, Clement. There are some universities that offer lessons or lectures in English completely,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
that are equally as
Tuition rate.
affordable as the German programs.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So
okay, okay.
I studied both in German and in English, and I paid, yeah, close to 330 euro a semester. My brother, I have so many friends that studied purely in English,
German.
and they
Okay,
paid the same thing, yeah, 300 or 330 euro a semester. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. Good.
Especially if you're studying at the master's level, there are like more options for you to study in
Mm,
English. When you study at the
yeah.
bachelor's, you have some, but it's kind of limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike,
So
I saw a lot of questions. A lot.
yeah,
Let's them bring them out now.
I'm
Or is it Mike that's doing
take,
the selection?
yeah,
It's Mike that does the
Okay, okay,
selection. It's
I'm
Mike.
taking
okay.
the selection, so I be able to play right place there. I can't, guys, write your questions completely. So someone was asking, what academy are we talking about?
He was asking me Clement. It's when Clement was talking. What
Ah,
Clement? What's the name of your academy in
Yeah, it
Nigeria?
was this Churchill's Academy, the last academy I played for then in Nigeria, FC Ebede.
okay. How expensive is it to play in that academy?
Well, the thing is, you don't pay money for that academy. What he does is he only goes around to state by state to scout player to bring to the academy. Because
Okay,
once he brings you to the academy, like they just brush you up, train you so hard, and when you are really good, sometimes he make the selections of players that travel to Europe. So the white men don't have to come and watch you guys. Sometimes he
yeah,
has that
yeah.
power. He can just select me like 3 or 4 of you guys, and you travel. And the travel they do it most times twice a year,
Mm-hmm.
like twice
Okay.
a year sometimes. And that's how, and why sometimes they come, the white people come to the academy to look. Yeah, so that's I think that's all I know about, and it's been a while. I think I left there since 2020, so
Okay. Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know much about.
Yeah.
But I still have some friends there though, so I don't know
Okay.
much
Let's.
about.
I'm going to come back to you with a question, but let me just see if I can take all these ones here. Someone is saying I have ND and I am in HND now. Okay. You can study with your HND both in Germany, but for masters, and then in other European countries also.
Mm. And you
At
also
the
need to write the use of height or TOEFL. You need
yeah,
it.
yeah. Some uni, yeah, but others may you may not need it. But for
Okay.
HND Germany, it will be bachelor's. Other locations, they can also take it for masters.
Okay.
But yeah, HND is possible. Okay, let's see. Um, I have no visa, no passport, but I want to play in Europe. That's a tough one. You will need a passport at least to travel.
Not only
So
you to even travel, at least you, even if you don't have any means of identity, you can use it as your means of
yeah,
identity.
where to start
Of
from? You know.
course.
Yeah. Uh, but I think maybe a fully funded scholarship could be a good option for you because it comes with some money when you win the scholarship. please, what's the name of the academy you're talking about? I think you answered that already.
Mike,
FC,
let me just drop
FC
something.
baby. FC.
For anyone, Mike, for anyone who wants to travel, who wants to play football, who wants to study, the most basic requirement is a passport. A passport should be on ground
Of
because
course.
an opportunity can come out at any time, especially if you're a footballer. You can just go on the pitch and an onlooker, you don't know, maybe it could be a scout. It's important to have a passport, guy.
Yeah.
I know it could be expensive, but do everything just to have your passport.
And funny enough, do you know that even for schooling, you need a passport? Because when I was applying my admission, they asked for my passport number and stuff.
Yeah.
So you need it. Yeah,
That's
you
like
need it.
the main
But you just have to be sure that you are ready to know what you're doing before you go and make a passport.
Yeah,
That's just the thing.
of course, passports always have a validity of about 5 or
Yeah,
10
5
years.
years for
5 to 10
Nigeria, I
years.
know. 5
Yeah,
years.
5 years to Cameroon. So, guys, if you want to travel, just have a passport available. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to come back to you, Clement. So, based on the experience of this, your friend from that former academy, what would you recommend, or what's like? Did you learn something, like in the sense that, okay, how should someone, move? Let them go on a trial, from Nigeria straight, to trial in, I don't know, fourth, third division or second division, or better to come in some other way that will give you a long-term residence, like a student. So you can play, grow, get all the necessary formation, and then you will be even more successful as you go higher. What do you think?
Okay, well, this is how for me I see it. If for example, you basically want to come for football, and for those who, like for me, it was like waiting for an agent to bring you to Europe then was almost impossible, because sometimes agents can come, they see you, because I've been with living witness. I had a very good agent who came all the way from Belgium, the same guy who took this my friend, but I had some little stuff with Churchill that made things, I don't know the reason why he said I couldn't make it if I go and stuff. So there was a little misunderstanding, up to the extent of he even lying to the agent that I was injured, why I was not. You understand? And it got my parents so upset. Like, if you don't want this guy to, why not tell him to speak? Why keep him in the academy? And you're lying to an agent. So what happened? Let me be even plain with you. What really made me leave the academy was the fact that when the agent came back, and my parents told me to tell him the truth, and it was like between my parents, myself, and the agent. So I was considering, what should I do? Then I summoned the courage and I told the agent the truth. So the agent immediately, before the game that day, he was so shocked. Then he told them to gather all the balls that I should be shooting to the goalkeeper to be shooting. And that's how they discover, one way to discover if somebody is really injured. And I did that, and he just nodded his head and told me that we will talk after the game. And after the game, he gave me his card. And I think the agent that was in his academy found out, and he got angry. And he told me I had to leave the academy. And I left. So in that process now, you see, an agent was already interested in me. You understand? But along the line, something happened. So even with all this agent stuff, it's not always certain. You understand? Sometimes it takes the grace of God for things to even work so perfect. You understand? But if we're in a situation whereby agents are not forthcoming, things are not working as planned, you can go through school. Going through school is just like using one stone to kill two birds.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, even if you don't get a good team or this thing, you are schooling. And after your school, you can still get a job.
Yeah.
Or you can do other things. So that is the thing. But that's for those who can afford. Because it's not everybody who could afford. And that's why most people rely on this agent. Because now, if I have a lot of money, my child does not need to go and play in any academy for an agent to see him, to pick him. I will only train him.
Yeah.
And when I tell him the basics, according to my experience, at some particular time, there are things I know, maybe I know them for like making or developing talent. Then you can send him there to get drill and other things. Then at some level, you expose him to the real deal. For me, that's what I'll do. because most of us who were waiting for agents was just because our parents could not afford. Because
Yeah, yeah,
if from the onset, like maybe 10, 15 years ago, when I was still like in 10 years ago in secondary school and stuff, and my parent tells me that, look, after your secondary school, we're going to sponsor you immediately to go. There are some days I went to training or I traveled, I left my home in Nigeria to some academy, I would not have gone. I'll just relax at home, then be doing basics. Then when the time comes, I know I'm going to travel.
yeah.
So relying on agents is good, but I think it's only because of those who could not really afford.
Yeah.
Do you see rich men, like real rich men children in academy in Nigeria? No. They send their children to academies abroad. You understand? So, but for those who can afford, I would say instead of giving, because there are some agents who you can pay some particular money to, they duped you. They can dupe you and stuff.
I
So
mentioned in my
instead
yeah.
of relying on that, why not get admission maybe in one of the EU countries? Then, just like I said, as school is going on, you're also trying other things like football. You can even end up, maybe it's not even football you discover anymore. You could end up doing something different.
We will talk about that in
You
a moment.
understand?
That's what I'd like you to touch on, because I feel like this thing is very important.
Yeah.
There are many people at the end of the day, not all may make it to become, a pro,
Yeah.
but then there are also
Other
many
op-
other aspects, that you can still be within the football industry, and I feel like I don't even know if all the guys they know about this, but everyone's mind is just on playing on the field, but not everyone is going to make it to playing on the field. And besides that, I think people are also needed in different aspects of
Mm,
football
yeah,
federation,
yeah,
to speak.
yeah.
Could you touch on that a bit? Just the different areas for the guys to also keep in mind that, hey, for whatever, if something happens, you don't make it there, hey, it's a big market, There are different things that you can still do.
Yeah, definitely. This is saying that do not put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true that where your treasure lies, there your heart will be. Of course, guys, you have, as long as you want to become a footballer, you have to give in your all in football. Give in 100%. If you're to train 100%. If you're to go to school, give in your best. Because in giving in your best during the trainings, you're building up yourself as a footballer. In giving in your best as a student, while writing your HND, while writing your advanced level, is to ease your way to getting an admission. Yeah.
Or a
So you have
job.
to give in, yeah, definitely. You have to give in your best. So now what happens? If you get injured or you don't finally become a professional player, what can you do? Of course, you can become a football trainer. There are football trainers that never play football at the professional level. There's some football trainers. I think Tuchel, the current trainer, the current manager of Bayern, never played football at the professional. I am not too sure, but I don't think he played. And at the semi-professional level, there are a lot of coaches
One of
that
my
do not even play football.
One of my senior man just message captain, smart captain.
Ah,
He was also somebody who helped me to like go through all this school to go to Europe and stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
I think he's somebody with like kind of this kind of experience and who could,
yeah,
because he was one of the people who in Nigeria back then
yeah.
gave me the idea of going through school and stuff. Yeah.
Ah,
He
okay,
smart captain 10. Yeah.
okay.
Nice.
Um, yeah, yeah. Thanks.
Sorry,
So
Desmond. Sorry for cutting you.
no worries. So you can become a football trainer or a football manager. You can become a scout. Like some of the things which I do is scouting, but it's at the local level. That is, when guys arrive here and they're looking for a club, sometimes they send them to me and I bring them to Cameroonian hobby football activities and I watch them.
I
And
was there
depending
now.
on
That
how,
was where you
yeah,
first saw me now.
and that's why I got Clement.
You scouted Clement.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because if Clement was not as good as he is or as he was, I wouldn't have taken him to my club because it's all about the image. If you bring in a bad player, the guys will
Yeah.
say, this guy doesn't have a sound knowledge of football. you know. And I think I showed you another guy yesterday in our club. So
Yeah, so
Mike,
bad
you
guy.
saw the other African guy.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
was his first game.
Yes, exactly. I saw he did trials in my former club and he was not scouted. Not that he was not scouted, but they did not take him in my former club.
You were
But
not
I
interested,
saw
no? Yeah.
they were not interested, but I saw his qualities. So when I moved to my new club, I spoke to them that I know of a player who is good. So he came, he did trials, and he said, he's a good player. So you can become a trainer, you can become a scout, you can become um um how is this called? You can become a player agent.
Yeah. How about a manager? A manager for a player?
That's it. A player agent, a manager of a player.
Yeah.
That's how you can become that too. You can become even a football analyst.
Yeah.
Like there are guys on the field, assistant trainers, whose job are just to analyze the movement of players. You can become an athletic trainer. With Clement's stature, with the kind of physical body he has, he can easily become an athletic trainer.
Yeah.
You know, because he'll be able to imbibe or inculcate what he has been doing to the other younger generation. So they are several. We can become even a sport marketer. A lot of functions within the sports domain. So guys, if you don't end up becoming a professional footballer, all hope is not gone because football is a passion. I think the same way you play football is the same way you have passion when you watch football.
No, of course.
I'm right.
Of
You
course.
Of course.
know,
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
when you watch football, sometimes you are like, why did this guy not play this past year? Why did he not shoot? Why did he
Right.
not do that? You know,
The mistake.
exactly. That's really a trainer skill. So there are several domains. Yeah. I don't know if Clement, I missed out on any other
No,
aspect
no,
where.
no, no, you're okay.
Yeah.
Shoot. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Mm.
So guys, it's a big market, and we have to be realistic. Sometimes you don't have everything you need to get there, but then it does not mean that all hope is lost.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see if we can just quickly get some questions and then we round up. So Eric is still asking, so as an HND, what's the requirements to play in Europe? There is no requirement per se. So like Desmond mentioned, so when you come as a student, depending on the connection you have, you will be taken for a trial, right? You're invited and then you go for a trial with a semi-professional club. And then depending on how you perform on that day, you'll be selected. You may be selected and they will sign you right away. And that's where it starts from. So document, I don't think any document is necessary. If you're in the country, that's what
Uh,
matters, right?
Mike, let me just add something very quickly on those trial sessions. First and foremost, for trial sessions, my advice is don't write any club. If you need a trial
No.
session, don't write any club. I don't think any club will want to answer you. Appear there.
Yeah.
I've never seen a club reject a player for trials, especially semi-professional. Professional, they will not let you. Don't even dream of going to a professional club. No professional club will give you a trial session if you don't have a football agent. No, 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 no. It's not like in Africa. These are institutions, guys. Look at Dortmund. If you see how big Dortmund, you don't even know where to enter.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even know where to go to. So, but
Sometimes,
for this,
sometimes you are not even like to go close when they train. You are not even allowed to go too
you're
close
not
to
allowed.
their training session.
Yeah.
You're not too
There's
allowed.
just there's just no way. But for semi-professional clubs, like I said, between the Oberliga and the Czech
Okay,
Liga,
the sixth league,
yeah,
okay.
it's possible. You can just go appear there and tell them, I want to train. Go with your JC, with your boots already. No, I don't think any club will refuse. And yeah, so don't write, just appear. It's extremely important. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think everyone asking about HND admission and stuff. We can't take all those here. I would say you join the Telegram group and I can take all your questions about admission, qualification, and all that. Scholarship as well. I'll take those questions there. Hello, everyone. Hello, Smart Captain. Thank you for joining again now. Desmond and him has always been a football assets. Desmond, I think that's for you.
Hi, Des. That's my junior. It's like my junior brother. Yeah, Desmond.
Okay.
Desmond. Hi, Desmond.
So,
Yeah, I'm
so
your
smart
senior
is saying,
brother
I
then.
think one of the major challenges we face. Let me read what Smart is saying. Now, one of the major challenges we face in Africa is lack of mentorship and good
Yeah.
networking to enhance talent back here. 100%. Yeah, and I think, frankly speaking, Desmond. Clement, I never told you how I met Desmond.
No,
You don't know the story.
never did. You
let,
never
let me
did.
let me say it here. So, my wife now and I, we were at the train station, in Bochum, just at the train station. I think it was on the weekend or something. And
Weekend. It's
Desmond was,
Saturday.
Desmond was just standing on his own. And then I saw him. I turned to my wife. She was still my girlfriend then. I was like, honey, that guy, I like the guy's, the way he looks. He looks like a professional footballer. I want
This guy is all our jersey number. Which jersey they even wear now for training and for this thing? He don't expand all of them because of his laugh. Thank God say if you don't pick number for team, another person don't feel wear your own. If not, nobody can use those jersey again because that's more laugh over Schenken and body.
I saw, the way I saw him, he was dressed. I think he was going for their training or something.
Yeah.
And then, because I'm a content creator and I'm always thinking about ways to help people, get the right information about the life here, the real information and not people just telling you whatever, which is not real. So I wanted to talk to him, as an African. So I walked up to him, but I have this character when I meet other Africans, I don't speak English. I speak German. So because I feel like, hey, this is Germany and you just speak German, because chances are the person might be Afro-German, so don't go all on English. So then I spoke to Desmond in German saying, hey, is he a professional footballer? And that I'm a content creator. I don't even remember everything, but I walked to him and, we started talking. And then he said, where am I from? I said, I'm from Nigeria. I was like, he's Cameroonian. Why are we speaking German? So we switched to English,
Okay.
So fast forward, I just told him that, hey, I create content and help people get information and all these kind of things. And I think, I told you I'm looking for where to play football too, right? Just to play, just to
For fun, no? Yeah.
fun. Because me, my own is just fun. So, we went together the next Sunday, and I think I really like, the passion, that Desmond has, in the sense that I think I wish many people would have this same mindset. You have experienced something, you've acquired a lot of information, and you just don't want other people to do the same mistake. A better life for other people. So just going back to Smart's question, this is something that we are trying to build here. This kind of community, maybe not necessarily mentorship, but at least it's one step in that direction. People getting the right information and gradually building that community of these mindsets that, will also grow into the networking. And I think Desmond, you're already doing the networking. You're taking the guys, you're taking them for trials, you're connecting them at a lower level. It can only start like this. Gradually, but steadily, people want to get first-hand information. They don't make the kind of mistakes. They know what to do when they go for trials. And hopefully they will also pass on this information to other people. Gradually, this community will start building up the mentorship and the talent we have back home in Africa. I think then we will even make the best out of it. And hopefully people will begin to understand more the business concept and also start to wire their brain in that direction, to move from fun is good, but I think if you want to play internationally, you have to take away fun from your head and get into the real business psychology.
Just to add on that, guys, the richest place on earth is the graveyard. Do you guys know that? Why? Because there are a lot of people that died with talents that never got exposed.
They were not discovered.
That were not discovered. And that is the most frustrating thing. Like I'm sure Clement, I'm sure most guys that play here at the semi-professional level in Africa, they knew them as the best. No, like this is the Ronaldinho of our generation. This is the Messi of our generation. This is the guy that will come and beat Mikel Obi. This is the guy that will be more than this, you know. That will be more than Okocha, you know. But to have the talent is one thing, and to get exposed is something else. Without exposure, without information, your talent dies. And it is frustrating to have a gift from God and not to be able to express it in a wider platform. Because if you have your talent, you play in Africa, just in Africa, it's like it's like having a Rolls Royce and driving it just in your compound.
Yeah. You could drive it, farther.
Further. So that's the most painful thing. And the point is, most Africans don't have even the information, guys. I suffered. And that's why I always share my story with passion, because if I had someone that was in my position now, when I arrived in Germany, I wouldn't have been here. I'm honest, guys. I'm honest with you. If it was someone that could take me to a club, I wouldn't have been here. So that's why we came up with this kind of platform, this kind of initiative, to kind of supply as much as possible that we can. You know, we can only at this stage supply you guys with information, the networking, and in Europe, the most important is the information. Mike, we spoke on that.
Yeah. Like, cannot overemphasize how important it is for you to have the right information, And then if you're coming to play football and that's your dream, then I think the more information you have, the better and faster you will achieve that dream. And also knowing that maybe, who knows, when you come to Europe, you will even see more opportunities than playing on the field. And develop interest for the other aspects within the football domain, because we don't know all these things back home. Guys, thank you so much. I don't want to take more of your time again. Clement, you have a flight to catch tomorrow, so
I'm going to my first home in Europe, Poland.
Yeah. And I really want to wish you all the best.
All the best, man. All the best.
Thanks very much. Thanks, man. Thank you.
My fingers crossed for you.
Thank you.
Show them what you have. Fire the goals, and we will talk on another level.
All right.
Hopefully,
man. Guys, thank you very much.
Clement, 1 minute. Say anything 1 minute. It is possible. Before we conclude.
1 minute. Before we conclude, for those listening, I just want to tell you from my experience that I'm a Christian, though, a practicing Christian, and it's not like I'm that perfect, but I know of something. I believe in God. So I would like you guys to understand that no matter what you're doing, just put God first. It's just like this admission, this soccer stuff we are talking about. Some people will say, in Europe, it's more easier, even if you don't pray. Look, you can be in Europe and still be useless. Because even the Bible says, not all things come from abroad, but not all things come from east or west or south, but from heaven above. You understand? So no matter what you do, you just have to put it to God. And with God, it's even more easier. So for me, that's what I can say. And not just God alone. You have to do your own part. Because there's a saying that says, heaven help those who help themselves. If I know I have a training, like I have a trial this week, and I'm there sleeping or not doing anything to help myself, even if it's a football video I'm watching, just to put my mind there, at least it's something, because already I'm trying to anticipate what I might want to do. So you just have to show your own part, then give it up to God. So for me, that's my advice for people looking for admission, for people looking for soccer plays or whatever. Just no matter how you do, put it up to God, because people think that it's money that's everything. You can have your money and still not move forward. You can still go into the wrong side.
Thanks. If I'm to say something in 60 seconds. Oh, hi Francis. That's another player of ours. That's Francis Clement. He's greeting.
Franco.
One day we'll invite him. Mike, I have a lot of players here. I'll be linking them to you,
Yeah,
to share their stories.
I appreciate it
Yeah,
very
because we all have different
Yeah.
experiences, you know.
Yeah,
definitely.
Uh,
yeah. And
okay,
you know,
if I'm to say,
people just think that you just arrive here all of a sudden. It's not that easy, you know. You don't
yeah,
just jealous what you see online. You have to know, and that's why most times you see. Sometimes I always think, like there are days whereby I remember there was a time last season. Desmond was aware I was having knee injury, and within that period, it was really painful because I was not playing. And when I came back, I was wearing knee band and I was trying my best to just to come. And there was this particular game I was asking Desmond, guy, when are we playing our former team? When are we playing our former team? When are we playing? But when I was asking him, when I came back from injury, God knows that there were times I had to go and run on my own just to keep me at the level I will have to be when I face them. Because I know it's going to be, anytime I go there, it's very emotional. So I really want to be on the winning side. So I did my own part, and luckily it came out very fine. We won that game 4-2, and I scored before all the 4 goals against my former team.
yeah,
But you see, when I posted it, a lot of people were just writing a lot of comments, saying a lot of stuff, but they don't know what I went through a week before and stuff. So, but you know, they just think that this thing just happened. Like, it's not always like that. You see, even with professional players, people don't know that there are those who spend more time in the gym. There are those who are there on training ground doing their stuff. There's this guy I saw, is it this week or last week? This Patsin Daka, this guy from Leicester City. You need to see
okay.
the guy was walking. And I told myself that, bro, you lazy, you know they do anything, you're not doing anything.
Right?
This is a professional. Look at the way he was walking. He was walking out in the gym. And I told myself that, oh my God, me that is aspiring to reach the professional level. And look at the way this guy is walking. And you don't see this
It's
thing.
already at the professional
Yes,
level.
Mm,
you only see the flashy moments, the goals he scores, the
Yeah.
this, the that. So people don't know that, like, you just have to do more behind clothes, like when people are not seeing. Like if I know that my team is struggling or I'm not at that level, sometimes after training, even at Vatensha when we were to, I run, just do all these shuttle runs or try
mhm.
to like just be like something ahead, at least for yourself,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
for yourself.
Yeah. You need to stay
So a
ahead.
lot of people who are aspiring. You know, there was one of my coach then that told me something before I left Nigeria. Then when we were looking for all
That's
these
only
food, because
more
no,
than that's only more than 60 seconds, man.
sorry, I'm done. But at least you guys have been talking before I came. So please
Yeah,
just
but
permit
we're
me.
already close to. You said
Please,
60 seconds,
no
man. We
vex.
spoke about punctuality. You're in Germany, man, and you said you were indisciplined, but now you're
No,
already
bro, but
adapting to your
was
system.
online. I was online with you guys, but the problem was that I never knew I had to request it. Number one, and when I requested, you said you were complaining that you were hearing background noise, and truly I was outside, and I thought it was something I could do from anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's all, guys. So yeah,
Desmond, let's get the final words from you.
Yeah. Um, if I'm to say anything in 60 words, like
60
Clement
seconds.
said, in 60 seconds, sorry, yeah. Um, I speak from my perspective, from my point of view, and I'm a Christian, you know. I believe the race is not for the swift.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
battle, the battle is not for the strong. It is unto God that shows
Mm-hmm,
mercy. There
mm-hmm.
are people, they are guys that were extremely talented who did not make it at the professional level, and there are
But
guys that were not talented at all that made it. So sometimes it's about the opportunity, it's about the moment.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But my advice to everyone is work hard,
Yeah.
Yeah.
believe in God, and believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Irrespective of the stories that you've heard, there are a lot of stories of people who do not make it. Don't focus on those who do not make it. Focus on those who made it. You can
100%.
be in worse situations and still make it. So believe in God, believe in yourself, have your self confidence, and stay focused. Yeah, that's how any. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Clement.
And
Too. Thanks,
so
Mike.
many
Yeah.
people turned up.
Man,
We will for sure organize another session, bring someone else, come to give a different story from a different perspective. Uh, You guys should teach me how to play football, please.
That's Francis talking. He's mad. He's already an experienced
Francis,
defender. What
Francis,
can we teach
you
you,
dey
man?
whine? Are you whining?
Francis,
Are you whining?
we'll bring you here. We'll bring you here so you come and
I mean,
you teach the guys.
He's a Niger man. Correct. Yeah.
All right, Desmond.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank,
Clement,
Thank you, guys. Thank you
especially.
thank.
for inviting me into the show. I
Yeah.
really appreciate. Thank you so much.
No
I
problem.
really, and Mike, thank you so much for all the
Thanks, Mike,
paparazzi
for
and
all
stuff. We
the
really
coverage,
appreciate it.
man. This man is truly
I'm
remarkable.
gonna send
You guys cannot
you
imagine
guys the
what. Yeah.
pictures.
Without him, this will not have happened,
Yeah,
guys.
a lot
Honestly.
of
Yeah.
thanks to Mike and to your wife as well,
And to
because
your wife,
yeah,
I think
honestly, we
Felicity
really,
is in the background, just always quiet. Nah.
yeah, we really appreciate it. Honestly, we are really grateful. Honestly,
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
then.
Yeah.
Enjoy your
All right,
evenings, guys.
Take care.
enjoy.
Yeah.
All right, ciao
Okay.
now.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye.
Okay. So let's go. Right, guys. So that was it. Desmond and Clement. I believe we killed it. So if you stayed until this time, thank you so very much. Also, a big thank you to all the friends from Desmond and Clement who joined this session. I appreciate you very much. So my name is Mike, and I am running this channel, this IG account. But anyways, I help people to move abroad. Anyway you want to move abroad, migration. And recently, I've been focusing a lot on helping talented guys back home to find their way to Europe. So, and this is why I'm connecting with people who have the right information, who have the right connections, so that together we can help the young generation to make informed decisions. So, thank you for staying, and you'll be hearing from us soon again. Bye for now, guys.